This is by far the most frustrating part and the weakest part of our business. It's the amount of time it takes. Top of the morning, we're starting the day at home. It's just going to be me today. We changed our daycare schedule around, so on Mondays one of us will work and we'll probably just alternate Monday, Tuesdays, and then so on and so forth. However, we have to start today in the basement because our old store generated 6 sales, so we're going to grab those first. Then we're going to head off to the warehouse, check in, and do some work. Let's go. So back to the basement. This one I have to put back. It was I think a return or lost package, I'm not sure. But if you recall, this was all once pretty full. We still are keeping our hard goods here, so there's quite a decent amount left, not too much. A little bit over here still. We have to organize, run a garage sale, kind of filter through, get rid of stuff. But obviously a lot more room than there was a while ago. We sold 2 of these lighthouses. They're both in this area, so we're gonna find those first. The first one is this lighthouse, the Boca Grande. So for $39 free ship. Should ship for about $9 or so, and it's over here somewhere. I just gotta dig it up. It's a bit dark in here, so I gotta use a flashlight. We got these for free from Melinda's aunt to generate money to pay for Jessica's future education. Here it is here. Easy to ship these. They're already boxed with styrofoam. We have this one. This is Beacon, North Carolina for $29 free ship. Right here. Sold these Ronco pieces for a pasta maker. Got less than $1 into them. They're at the warehouse. Sold this display case. This is all profit now. Found a bunch of them for less than $1 each. Basically sold out. Sold this J.A. Henkel's knife set. Paid $7 at our local Goodwill. Decent brand. These can sell relatively well. This sold for $50 free ship. It'll cost about $15 to ship them out. And we sold this vintage board game we picked up for $3 up north here in Michigan. It's incomplete, missing a couple pieces. Sold for $40 free ship. We'll ship for about $12. So the display case is in the shed. We had stuff everywhere because we were running out of room. Here's that Cherry Ann's nursing game. Pretty neat game. Awesome vintage, original graphics. Made in Canada. Copyright 1959. Not 100% sure when it was actually made. A bit rough, but such a rare board game that, it's sold to the right buyer. Got all the orders pulled. I grabbed 2 of these because they're so brittle, just in case I drop one and break it. The rest is right here. Packed that up over at the warehouse. Got the orders, got some more bulk stuff that came in. Got a table we're gonna use as like a lounging table. Bunch of boxes. Filled up the truck. We got a large shipment of USPS boxes and some more bulk inventory that came in. Nice and full. Obviously that's first priority when we get there. If you're new to the channel, my name is Edine. My wife and I run a eBay business and we make YouTube videos about it. We're going to be expanding into more of our businesses on this channel, so it's not always just going to be our reselling. But this series here, we just recently moved into a warehouse, so if you watched videos prior to this, I hope you're enjoying this series. If you're brand new, we operated 2.5 years out of our home, and now we're in a commercial space, a 2,000 square foot warehouse. And we're just building that. So last video was us shopping industrial equipment. This is just going to be a quick vlog about a typical Monday, and then we have to get all that shelving up and everything reorganized, so that's coming up too. I will show the other side of Madison Street for those who enjoyed the visual drive-by tour of the Heritage Hill area, the historic home area here in Grand Rapids, Michigan. I hope you enjoyed the other side just as much, and I'll see you in the warehouse. We didn't do any work this weekend, so we just kind of left everything as is. If you watched the last video, you saw us hand unload all of this stuff here. The plan is to get this wall done first. We initially thought we would go double, but the shelves would be too deep and the boxes would be too awkward to stack. So we're gonna go single against the wall and then 2 double rows here in the middle. It's going to be a bit uncomfortable picking orders today just because everything's a bit jumbled. We have to make space to get the stuff in here. It's fine. You know, it's going to be clunky for a little while until we get this thing really huffing and puffing. Like I mentioned in previous videos, it's going to take a while and we have to be patient. And the only goal of this warehouse space is to make it a money-making machine. That's all this is. This is just strictly a business. There's no emotions here. This is a company run by 2 very driven people, and we need to get this thing up and running for our future. That's it. This isn't for show, this isn't for fun, this is business, and that's all it is. I do have some unloading to do, and like an ape, I was just going to do the old, you know, grab them and carry them, but we're not apes anymore. The Industrial Revolution happened, and we recently bought industrial equipment, including some shopping carts. I'll explain that later. But since we have, you know, tools, I'm gonna use them. Look at that. We have the tools. Why would I carry that all on my back? So I'm just gonna grab the rolling cart here in the back, load her up, and make it easy. Look at that. Our investment is already paying for itself. And that payment is less stress on my body. And I like that. I like that a lot. Whoop. As I run over my inventory. How convenient is that, eh? So we bought 2 of these basically for this task, getting inbound stuff in, moving stuff around. It works really well. I don't have to carry it all. I'm beyond happy. How convenient. That saved me probably 15-20 minutes of labor carrying each individual box all the way through there. Amazing. And there's a bird's nest in here or something. I don't know what's going on in there. It's fine. Next up, I'm gonna grab all these sales. I think we had like 35, 37, you know, kind of a mediocre weekend. We didn't list anything yesterday. We listed only 2 things on Saturday. Melinda was up north with her mom, getting that northern property, or one of the northern properties, ready for rentals. We are going to do a vlog series on that as well, so you can see the adventures of us basically updating some properties and getting them ready to be rented out for profit, right? That's the name of the game. I won't film myself picking all the orders. It's just a bit of work and tedious when you're doing it by yourself. I'm gonna grab them, show you guys some highlights of what's sold. We had a kind of like a standard below average weekend of sales. You know, it's okay for now. It's not great. We're not super excited about it, but again, we need to get this place up and running so we can really start making some money. Before I get into all that, I just wanted to say again, thank you to everyone that supports us on this journey. I know a lot of people have enjoyed this segment of it, which is greatly appreciated. We will be doing a video in the future going through the process of finding a place and you know, how to find the right place and how much this place costs us and all that good stuff. So it helps you, you know, when you get to that point of wanting to move out of your home or wherever you're operating out of, and what it actually looks like to find a place and lease a place for business. Let us know in the comments below, you know, if you want that type of information or what specific questions you have. That will be a really good time now. Ask those questions and then we can address them in that video so that, you know, we help as many people as possible. Typically when one person has a question, a lot of people have the same question, so that'll be helpful. I'm going to collect some more data. We are going to keep collecting as much data as we can just to make sure that we understand where our baseline is, and then as we make improvements, we can go back and say like, oh yeah, that actually saved us X amount of time per, you know, task. Everything is a task. This is just the fundamentals of business. You break down your entire process into keys and then you maximize the efficiency of each process. A lot of people commented about us, you know, not printing our labels right away. That's something we have to look into. So does it make more sense to print our labels first, then go picking, or vice versa? You know, the bagging, the packaging, there's a lot of stuff for us to improve on. We're not experts in the field, but we are, well trained and educated in business. So we'll do the best that we can with the knowledge we have, and then we'll have other people come in and check out our operations and give us feedback. Because when you get a third eye on something, you might find something out about your business, right? So grab your friend, your cousin, your niece, whoever, maybe someone with a lot of experience, a little bit of experience, and have them do your job and see what feedback you get from them, or walk them through and maybe they'll point something out, like, why would you store it that way, or why don't you package it this way? Getting more eyes on something can be helpful in the long term, so do it if you want. I think it could be a really good idea, and that's something we'll definitely do. Anyways, I'm gonna grab those orders, show you some highlights. The shopping carts were bought basically for this. Originally, we wanted to get those like castered units that the USPS has, but basically all we're doing with them is using them to transport finished goods out of here, or to transport anything anywhere, right? They're just carts, they're very convenient, they're not huge. So as we get our items packaged, we just toss them in here and then roll them out to the car, or through the back. And we can also start our own jackass channel by pushing each other, maybe like through metal racking, or something stupid. And this thing right here, the little picking staircase, we got it for so cheap because it's missing one caster, but homeboy hooked us up with 4 brand new ones so we can repair it ourselves. And it's missing the bottom step, which we can easily repair. Either find a replacement, or just drill one through there, or put, it's not a huge deal because it's just the first step. The unit is very functional. It's extremely sturdy. It's industrial grade. These things, I don't know how much they are new, but Monda was looking on Marketplace and they were anywhere from like $350 to $450 used for that style, that height. So for $150 with a little bit of repairs needed, hell of a deal. So it took just over 12 minutes, almost 13 minutes to locate and pick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 clothing items. So a little bit less than a minute each. Obviously a lot of time to improve on because I had to juggle around and find it in a scrambled mess. I'm going to time the shoes separately because they're a little bit different setup and they're going to be stored differently than our clothing. So I think that's appropriate from a data analysis standpoint. Grab those next. This is by far the most frustrating part and the weakest part of our business. It's the amount of time it takes to find our goods. These are all the shoes and boots that I've picked so far, and we're still missing 1, 2, still 6 more to find, and I've already been up and down each row like twice, 3 times, so it's extremely time consuming and probably the weakest. Besides the lack of internet here, using a hotspot to print labels, it's very slow. This is definitely the weakest part of our current setup, and obviously this is why we invested $4,000 into industrial equipment, is to get this up and running smoothly. I couldn't imagine being employed by us and being sent to do the task of selecting orders and having to work with this. So that's one thing to keep in mind as you continue to build your business. Make sure that you're understanding these fundamentals, like how much time it takes to pick an order, how much time does it take to pack an order, etc. Because if you are ever going to be put in a position where you can hire staff, you need these systems in place. Otherwise, it's going to be a disaster. You're going to be paying labor and people are going to be confused, running around and saying like, this is not a place I want to work, because it's so disorganized. Like I can't find anything. Like, what am I supposed to do? Just walk around? Anyways, it's a bit frustrating. I'll power through it. 6 more pair to go, and I'll then do some highlights. Embarrassing. 30, almost 32 minutes to find all these shoes. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 pairs. It's almost like 2 minutes a pair, 1 minute and 45 seconds a pair. But we don't know if that's good or bad. Like in theory, that seems like a long time, but that's the baseline. And without a baseline, you have no idea if you're getting better or worse. So how many of you at home that are resellers know how long it takes you to select your orders? I'm going to guess a small percentage, or probably, I would say a third of you, and answer in the comments below honestly if you know or not. And I'd love to know how long it takes you to pick shoes and what your organization looks like and how many shoes on average are you listing and selling, just out of curiosity. But that's definitely improvement step for us, something that we know we need to work on. As I discuss that, I'm going to show the highlight reel of some of the items that sold overall. Nothing really that blew out the waters, right? But our job now is to be consistent in just getting volume and just churning it as quickly as we can. So for that amount of sales, it's below average, but still okay with it. My favorite personal would probably be the lighthouses, because it's more of them out the door that we don't have to look at anymore, and that goes directly to our kids' future education, which is awesome. I can already imagine in my mind's eye how smoothly things will go once we get the racking up, which in theory we'll get started this week, and then how much faster everything is going to be when we get our shoes organized in a manner where we can select them quicker. We're going to reduce the time that it takes to select our orders, so on and so forth. But again, we need a baseline. That's why we're taking data now. Onto the packing table, I'm going to go ahead and package up the orders and see how long it takes me to do that. I'm packaging up all of the shoes now. 2 of them are going to require a 12 by 12 box. 1 I'm just going to put in a smaller box because they're going to go first class, and the rest are going to go in a regular shoe box. So I have all my shoe boxes erected, and one problem that I'm running into right away is the lack of space on this table. So this is for 18 pairs of shoes, 19 pairs of shoes, 18 or 19 pairs of shoes, and it's very limited. So as I'm making these boxes, I'm struggling for space. So that's something for us to consider. Do we get a bigger table? Do we get some shelves built above it? It's these small things that we notice, make notes on, and collect information on it that are really going to help us long term to find the most efficient systems. Because if we sell 32 pairs of shoes in a weekend, right, in the future we will definitely. Where are we going to put all the boxes? Is that going to be a strain on the employee? So on and so forth. I will share the numbers of how long it took me to do everything after I'm done with labeling. Packaging is done for the day. They're right here behind me. So overall, I'm okay with the performance. It's all still the baseline of how long stuff takes. I'm not looking forward to the next step. We have talked to Verizon. We're ordering a Wi-Fi signal boost thingy. I forget the actual technical name for it. That should help us with our hotspot internet. Right now we don't have internet here, which is okay. In the future we may decide to get internet if we need it. I'm going to label all this up, and then we'll sit down and look at some of the numbers for the total amount of sales, and then we'll look at how long it actually took me to do all the tasks. Did some photos. It took me 35 minutes and some change to do 14 articles of clothing, mixed bottoms and tops, a jacket, and a good mix, right? A good sample size. So that's roughly 2.5 minutes per. Is that right? Does that make sense? Yeah, roughly 2.5 minutes per, which isn't bad. Emily did 25 pieces in an hour and 47, or roughly 4.5 minutes per. So it's just collecting data. That doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean she's very slow and I'm very fast. It's just data, and we can average it all out to see how long it actually takes and what does that task actually accomplish. I am again curious how many people actually measure how long it takes, and if you do, especially if you're an everything seller, start taking a look at how long it takes you to process and package some of these items and see if it makes sense and if you're making the right amount of money in doing so. Shipping is done. It took a little bit longer to get everything labeled again because of the slow hotspot connection. But this is what we're going to use these shopping carts for. The idea is just to lift as many times as possible. So once we get a cart ready, in this case we have 2, we're going to just simply wheel it over to the exit and get it packed into the car. We have to still establish the local connection with USPS to get pickups. While we were operating at home, we got that done, or everything was picked up from our house, so it was quite convenient. Right now we just deliver everything when we head back home after a day's work. So these are ready. Let's go over the actual numbers, the sales numbers, and then the, or maybe the efficiency numbers first and then the sales numbers. So it took me 12 minutes, 53 seconds to pack 18 articles of clothing, and 19 minutes, 36 seconds to pack 19 shoes. In other words, what is that? 37 sales took roughly a half hour, right? Roughly. I don't know if that's good or bad. We're just collecting the data so we can compare to a baseline once we start making improvements. That way we can make sure that we're actually saving time, saving money when we make these changes, and see what our ROI is if we have to invest in more equipment. Sales numbers for the weekend, roughly 41 sales across the board, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Average $31 per sale for 1,273. It's okay. It's below average, but you know, that's okay. We have process to build first and then sales to worry about second. For the rest of the day, I'm going to just simply take photos. I have to see how long it took Emily to do 50 units last time. And then what I'll do is set up 50 units for myself to see how long it takes me. And it's not a comparison to see if I'm faster than Emily. I'm going to work at an average pace. But again, it's just more data to see how long it takes to process clothing, you know, meaning take them off the rack, put them on the photography station, take the photos, put them away, label them, so on and so forth. And then tonight, most likely we're going to list together at some point after Jessica goes to sleep. I'm not sure how many listings we're going to get up today. I'm going to shoot for a minimum of 25, just because most of the day was, you know, packing and shipping and all that good stuff. I also did spend a couple of hours this morning finishing up a pretty awesome video, the video before this, or at least I thought it was awesome because I did some pretty cool editing in it. Not much else to talk about in this one. I really appreciate you guys checking out our channel. If you have any questions, feel free to always contact us. All our information is below. Thank you for all your support, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.